Broward County, if you have a situation where you have someone that's from the islands in South America that disciplined their child in a way that they understood that you discipline children, are you gonna have that person have a felony conviction that has all kind of other consequences as a result of it?
First, let me say this: Harold Pryor and the Harold Pryor campaign, we do not condone violence against children or
Right.
abuse against children. But I understand the cultural differences. Look, I was spanked, as a kid. I was beat. And my dad had to be a little bit more tough on me based on the circumstances that we grew up in. And so we have to understand those cultural differences. And here's my point, and I know I may sound like a broken record because I mentioned it earlier. That goes to recruiting and retaining a diverse workforce in the state attorney's office. If we have state attorneys that are in those units, that are making those filing decisions, that actually have Caribbean or Latin American background, right? That can kind of understand some of these fact scenarios, that can actually look at a probable cause affidavit.
They're probably mad they got to prosecute that case. They're like, wait, what? I beat him too, I mean?
Right. But because if you look at the probable cause, people who don't really understand what's going on. I said, look at the probable cause affidavit. There's been times when you read a probable cause affidavit and you speak with the law enforcement officer, totally different case because they're not next to their probable cause affidavit. They've had 2-3 tries to actually edit it. Their sergeant has looked at it and said, go back, do it a little bit better. And then also the beautiful thing is body-worn cameras. But in certain scenarios like this where there might not be a body-worn camera, it's always good to have prosecutors that understand the communities that they serve, that can read between the lines, that can actually bring in the victim and actually bring in the other people that may be involved and actually do an investigation and look into the facts of the case and look at the background of the situation and make an appropriate decision there. But then you also have to give your prosecutors discretion. But also with that level of trust, it's incumbent upon me to train my prosecutors, to do my job and ensure that my prosecutors are trained. So I know that when I give them that discretion, I'm confident that most of the time they're going to make the right decision. And so that comes with me doing my job as state attorney, hiring the right people to actually do the training. Not do this once a month type training. It has to be continuous training, not the once a year, or twice a year training. But we have to do continuous training from the time that you start in our office to your last day. Because we owe that to our prosecutors, and we also owe that to the public, that we have prosecutors that are trained and actually understand the jobs that they do.
All right, so you want